Hello, everybody. You've tuned in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance. Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. Well, thank you very much for having us on the show today. I've got a couple of guests here with me that you may think that are in the witness protection program with what they've got on here. But actually, no, we're going to be talking Halloween safety today. So that's why we're dressed out here in our Halloween mask, and we appreciate you being here with us. And our two guests, I mean, it makes all the sense in the world. Mike Pruitt from the Wayne Township Fire Department, PIO. Mike, good to see you here. Thanks for being with us.
How we doing?
Good, Mike. And John Perrine, Sergeant, Indiana State Police. John, thank you for being with us today.
Happy to be here, Rich.
And this was kind of fun. This was great. But you know what? It reinforced what we're going to talk about here today, because I was trying to get my timer to set and trying to get the show going, and I couldn't see right in front of me what was going on. So we're going to be talking Halloween safety and things that kids need to know about, and how masks can hinder your eyesight and that type of stuff. Also got with us as a third guest who didn't participate because we didn't have a mask for her, and we don't want to cover up her pretty smile. Lauren Baker. Lauren, thank you for being here today.
Happy to be here, Rich.
We appreciate you coming down from the museum, and we got some exciting stuff that we're going to talk about that the museum is doing also for kids out there in that area. That's coming up on October the 21st. But let's talk a little bit about Halloween safety. John, I know you've got a youngster that's pretty excited about Halloween coming up here. Have you gone all the safety things that he needs to know?
You know, and it's a big month. There's a lot of Halloween activities throughout the whole month of October, not just trick-or-treating on Halloween anymore. There's
Absolutely.
a lot of events that we go to, and the safety really becomes on the responsibility of the parent. You know, my 5-year-old understands, but more importantly, he's got to be very well supervised when we're out and about and doing these events and making sure it's safe. So we want to make sure we're talking to the parents as well as the children about how to keep everybody safe on Halloween.
Yeah, because they pretty much got one focus, and that's the candy.
Yeah.
And wherever the candy's at, and there's a straight line between point A and point B, and you've got to make sure that that line is safe for them to get there and to get back, and to not eat that candy before they get it home and get it looked at, and make sure that it's safe for them to consume. And I'm sure, Mike, that a lot of the fire departments are doing things around the city also.
Many times, many of the fire stations are giving away candy. So, if you do see that going on, or most of the time they'll advertise ahead of time that you can stop by and you know that you're going to get safe candy there and be greeted by a bunch of friendly people that'd be excited to see the kids in their costumes. So even adults in costumes at times.
Yeah.
So, we encourage people to stop by. If you have questions or you do get something along the way when you're trick-or-treating, bring it by the firehouse and have us.
Now, Rich, if somebody's going to take their children to the firehouse, make sure they knock really loud, because likely all of them are asleep and you'll have to wake them up.
I knew that eventually he was going to have to interject. It goes back to you talking about his kid and going out with someone responsible, which he had already called me to go along with his kids because he can't fit in that role.
Now, hold on a second, because Rich asked me to bring my kids on the show today, and unfortunately they couldn't come because of school and things, but I brought the next best thing is Mike Pruitt, as big of a kid as I know.
But, Mike, where did his kid go today?
He went to the firehouse. He wants to be a firefighter. He's going to have a successful life. There's no doubt about it.
I'm speechless.
But let's not get off the point here.
Yeah,
exactly.
And how
Yeah.
Okay, so some tips that we want to give kids, of course, is their candy bag itself. Make sure it's not too big, not dragging around something that they can't control and be tripping over when they walk along. So that's something that we want to tell them about. But a lot of things that people overlook is maybe a flashlight.
Yeah. So that's all come in the planning. Don't wait until the minutes before you're going trick-or-treating and saying, where's a flashlight? Do we have batteries?
Right. Make
sure you've got one. If any checkout line in any store you go to, they've got the little LED flashlights now. They're a couple dollars. Grab a few of those. A flashlight isn't only about being able to see, but it's also about being seen.
Absolutely.
By traffic and other people around. So the more lights, the better. Grab a couple flashlights. The adults should have some flashlights. Glow sticks. These things are cheap. I always tie these right on the back of my son's costume.
That's a good idea.
It's hanging there, and that way he's visible from the back. And it'll last, and these are, less than $1 a piece by far. So just plan ahead of time and have this safety stuff, because even though we know it's a night where a lot of kids and families go out around the neighborhoods and walk, there's also a lot of traffic out because people drive their children from place to place. So we need to figure out a way that pedestrians can safely interact with all the cars.
Yeah, and there's even the LED lights like you see on the back of bicyclists that blink. you know, that you can put on their costume. But that's a good idea also, because that's going to last the entire night, the glow stick, and that they'll be seen easily. And a lot of costumes anymore have like the reflector strips on them, so that they're built into them.
Especially the fireman costumes.
Firemen's costumes have a lot of reflector strips.
We're talking about costumes. You know, a lot of people like to make their own costumes, and a lot of times that can become a fire hazard because the costumes you're buying in the stores have passed the test.
Yeah, retarded.
And when we make our own for our children, sometimes maybe that falls through the cracks, and they run the risk of wearing something that could be very flammable. So we want to be careful, because a lot of people like to light candles, pumpkins with candles in them, and around this time of year. So we encourage, you know, buy commercial made costumes that we know have been UL tested and will pass the test.
Great idea.
And again, we were commenting about the masks that we had here earlier. It's hard to see out of a mask, isn't it?
It's very difficult. This one that I was wearing, of course, you know, we were wearing for a joke, but not safe to walk down the sidewalk or the street. I would suggest if your child insists on wearing a mask that limits their visibility, don't let them wear it all the time. Put it on as they go up to the house to trick or treat, or wherever they're going. But once they leave, take that mask off, make them put it on, because they need to be able to see as well.
Yeah, and there's an alternative to that if they want to. There's the makeup that they can put on their face, and that's going to do the job, and then not hinder their eyesight.
There's little masks like this that really have big cutouts for your eyes.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
you can see pretty well with this, with stuff like this. So, but also
such a superhero.
I was going to pick Superman.
Has he got the cape on too? Has he got the cape on?
Yeah, I always have a cape on under my uniform.
Give him a few minutes, the cape will be on. He'll be flying around the studio here.
The S will come out.
You know, you brought up a point about the makeup, Rich, and you know, when you do buy the makeup, test it a little bit, because the last thing we want you to do is put a bunch of this makeup on and somebody have a reaction to that. And so it's always safe. Do a little test, make sure everything's going to be okay. Most of the time you're going to be just fine. But at least do that to make sure.
Another good thing, and John was kind of talking about this earlier, was your trick-or-treat route. Make sure you know where you're going, right?
Yeah, you know, it's important to go to areas you're familiar with. You know, I live in a small community. We know most of the families, and we go to the houses of people we know. And I hope people will do the same. It's not about how much candy you can get, or you know, knowing what neighborhood gives out the big candy bars and going there. It's about enjoying your community and being involved in your community and going to places you know. So that's important. Also, if you're going to be handing out candy, it's a fun time. But some people want to make their house look spooky and make it really dark. And so make sure your pathways are lit so that the kids can safely get to your house and back, and your porch is well lit. If you have candles, like Mike said, keep those far away from where the kids are going to be standing and walking. We don't want to catch anybody on fire.
You know, I've seen with
fire department would have to wake up and come put somebody out.
Put somebody out. So I saw something that looks like it's going to be kind of popular this year at one of the stores. Is painting pumpkins instead of carving them. It's painting them. Have you guys seen this?
I've seen it before.
Yeah, they're painting the faces on them, and it makes the pumpkin last a lot longer, and you don't have to worry about that.
I'm actually working on one of John.
Are you?
Yes. I sit right on my front porch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's going to be a big hit, you know.
It will be.
He's going to hit it all right.
With a baseball bat. No,
He'll be about a 9
that incites violence. I shouldn't say that.
But another alternative also is like a battery-operated light inside it if you're going to actually carve it open.
Rich, have you ever heard about the teal pumpkin project? The teal pumpkin project is if you take a pumpkin and you paint it teal, that means you have alternative treats to hand out that are not candy, because some children that have severe allergies to candy don't get to enjoy trick-or-treating like the other kids because of this allergy. And so something that's really caught on over the last few years is if you paint a teal pumpkin and set it out in front of your house, that lets parents know that you have alternative trinkets other than candy. You have little something that's not consumable, but something that the kid could play with and have.
Little spider rings or something.
Yeah, for kids that can enjoy the candy. So that's kind of a cool thing. If you're interested, just look at it on the internet. It's called the Teal, T-E-A-L, Pumpkin Project. And it'll explain exactly what it's about. It's really a neat thing.
Friends, when they used to go around, was allergic to peanuts. So you had to be very careful with that. Very, very careful with that. Yeah. Well, that's good observation and good advice. Well, again, you're listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids. And we're talking about Halloween safety alternatives. And one of the big alternatives that we're going to have this year that's not actually on Halloween but the day before is out at Lauren's place. out there at the ISP Museum, and you got a big event planned out there, don't you?
We do. This is our third annual trunk or treat. Last year was a very big success. We had about 600 people come last year, and we had different agencies come, fire departments, other law enforcement agencies come and hand out candy to the children. And this year it's on October 21st, which is a Saturday, from 3 to 5 p.m.
So this is going to be kids from the area, kids, parents. Can they dress up and come with them too?
Of course.
Good, good. That is going to be fun. So tell us what they're going to find. Is it going to be outside? Is it going to be inside? How's this going to work?
It'll be outside. We have troopers and other law enforcement agencies and fire departments come, and they bring their trucks and their cars and they set them up outside. And the idea of a trunk or treat is to open up your trunk and give out candy. And so we'll provide candy for the different agencies that are coming, and you can go around as many times as you like. We'll have different carnival games inside as well and some fun activities for kids. So it will be more than just trick-or-treating at the museum.
So the museum will be open also if people want to come in and view the stuff that's inside there, which is totally free year-round. But it's going to be a good night to do that if they want to come in and view things. But you're going to also have games inside there.
Yes, we will.
Cool. So the address?
We're at 8660 East 21st Street. That's on the east side of Indy.
And a telephone number or something if somebody wants to get a hold of you?
Sure. It's 317-899-8293.
Cool. This is going to be a good time. And so you had how many last year?
We had 600 last year show up.
Wow.
Yeah, that was quite a few.
In 2 hours.
In 2 hours, yep.
Okay, you're going to be rock and rolling. That's going to be a good night. But that's, again, another alternative. It's going to be a safe place so that the kids can come in and have a good time with you all there at the museum. But we're back to maybe going trick-or-treating throughout their neighborhood. And when they're doing that, maybe an emergency identification kit in case a kid would get lost?
Yeah, of course. You know, I would recommend that taking a marker or something, if you have young children, and writing your phone number on their forearm if they're not old enough to memorize a phone number. Take a photograph of them in their costume, which naturally happens now with phones and everything like that. But that way, if your child does come up missing, you can show emergency responders a current today photograph of what they're wearing, what they look like, so that we can begin scouring the area and looking. But
maybe instruct them to, hey, this is a place we're going to meet up if something would happen. This is our go-to safe place. Go to there and meet up and be ready to call mom or dad or get somebody to call mom or dad. And it's a great idea on the phone number.
Yeah.
Mike, are you going out trick-or-treating this year?
Well, now that my son has grown, my wife and I usually have a big setup at the house. So we actually have the teal pumpkin, like John was talking about, to offer the alternative treats.
Now, do you guys offer the regular stuff too?
Yes, we do. We offer everything.
Do you give out full-size candy bars or what they consider fun size? You know, there's nothing fun about a fun size.
That's
well,
the miser size. Is that what you meant?
On a firefighter's salary, we have to do small-size candy bars. I'm sure the state police, you guys can offer all the biggest candy bars possible and what you get paid. So.
Actually, John gives out boxes. Boxes of candy.
Boxes of candy.
Yeah, why not?
So, but yes, we do the full setup. We get the music. I even dress up in costume.
Oh wow! Can you tell us? Is it going to be the same every year, or is it?
No, I change it up every year.
Okay,
he's going to be a trooper this year.
Yeah, probably not. But I dress up every year and hang out on the front porch. I actually used to like to sit there quietly and let the kids walk up close to the treat basket, and then I would sort of move a little bit. It was kind of entertainment for me, but I also understood that probably wasn't a good idea.
And you probably got tired of doing CPR for the parents.
Probably.
Well, I used to do that too, and the best thing about it was you got more candy than you gave away.
Yeah. That's a problem is when you are giving candy away. I have especially the mini ones. If there's Butterfingers in there, those kids will not get any Butterfingers because I will tend to eat all those before they even get a chance to get those Butterfingers. That's one of my favorites.
And John, your favorite candy?
All of it. I'm just a kid. I like Kit Kats. I do pick through my kids' candy and grab the Kit Kats because I like those.
Lauren?
I love Reese's.
Reese's Cups?
Those are my favorite.
Yeah. They've gotten smaller. Do you notice
They have gotten smaller.
They've gotten smaller.
Yeah.
I know. It's that. Yeah. It can't get them past me. Lauren, will they have the alternative stuff there for kids that are going to...
Yes, we do. We usually have pencils, a couple little toys. Last year, I believe we had the rub-off tattoos. So there are definitely alternatives for kids who have allergies or can't necessarily eat the candy that we hand out.
Maybe some coloring books.
Yeah, some coloring books.
Well, guys, we're down to our last 30 seconds. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for coming in. Have a great Halloween. Have a safe Halloween. Make sure that your kids are tuned in to what they're doing and do it safely. And if they have any questions, don't eat that candy till you get home. And if you have any questions on the safety of it, take it to a police station, a fire station or something, have them look at it. Again, you've been listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance. Cops for Kids. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you again next week. Roadshow out.